Thank you, Chair. I have serious concerns over the feasibility of this scheme. Whilst I understand that at this stage the committee are being asked to approve the outline application, I do not think it would be appropriate to do so when there is a fundamental flaw in the foundations of these proposals. I will refer my colleagues to the letter sent from the London Fire Brigade dated the 1st of October 2024 that I sent to each of the members earlier today, and that Cllr Edgware had previously sent to the members of the committee. You will see in that letter that the London Fire Brigade have raised significant concerns over the structural integrity of the development. The letter states that, quote, "The structural integrity of many of the blocks above the bus garage are intrinsically dependent on the structural integrity of the bus garage below. This is particularly relevant in this proposal as the potential for so many EV buses poses risks that are not fully understood by the industry at this point in time. The general expectations of guidance may therefore be inadequate in protecting the structural elements of the garage in the case of an EV bus fire, and therefore may provide inadequate protection from structural collapse of the blocks of flats above." End quote. I do not believe that the summary in paragraph 1.6 on page 7 actively or sufficiently reflects the concerns raised by the London Fire Brigade in their letter from October. I'm particularly concerned as only yesterday the London Fire Brigade requested a change to the application so last minute. I understand that it has been suggested that in the meantime the garage could be used by diesel buses. However, if you look at the comments from the GLA, the Mayor makes it clear, as the guiding mind behind TfL, that buses must be electric. In the report on page 37, it outlines that testing on bus fires is still ongoing. It is widely known that putting out an electric vehicle fire is incredibly difficult. Most fire brigades choose to leave them to burn out as that is the safest option. However, the solution for when that fire is under thousands of homes is unclear.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you. I'm incredibly concerned that you are being asked to approve a development that even the London Fire Brigade say it does not know how to make safe. The development will have to change, so how can you approve an unsafe outline scheme which we all know will have to undergo fundamental changes and be unrecognisable from these original plans? This scheme should be deferred until the fundamental fire issues are resolved and residents can see and comment on what actually is being proposed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Councillor Wakeley? Councillor Cornelius, yeah.
Mate, thank you, Councillor Wakeley. What do you feel about this application that's before us tonight? Is very much an outline application, but do you feel that if this were to go through tonight, this really sets the horses running, and this actually means it will be very difficult to change things as we go forward?
Thank you, Councillor Cornelius. My concern is, if you approve it tonight, is the plan is going to fundamentally change from what residents have been asked to give views on and what you're asking to be voted through. The bus garage is not feasible, that's quite clear. There's no fire services in the world that can work out how to safely put out electric vehicle fires. I've spent a lot of time researching it. So if you have to have electric vehicles in that garage, which you do because by 2034 TfL is scrapping all diesel vehicles, there will have to be electric vehicles in that garage. So the only option they have is to get rid of the underground garage and put it elsewhere, which is, where would it go, because the development is already very dense. Or then they couldn't have a bus garage, and I'm led to believe that then TfL might pull out, so a development wouldn't be feasible. There are real concerns about the feasibility of this development, and I don't know how in good conscience you can vote this through tonight without those being resolved. Thank you.
I mean, it is an outline scheme, and obviously we've had many outline schemes in the past, and reasonably successful reserve matters applications following on from those. Going back to your substantive point, I mean, there are conditions attached to the planning application, or suggested rather by the officers as part of the planning application, which would mean that the garage couldn't be occupied unless the fire brigade said it was safe to do so. Do you not consider that that would be sufficient? I mean, in a building process, there are now some very hefty following the Grenfell disaster, there are a number of bodies which have been set up, one in particular, a building safety regulator, who again would have to be satisfied. Do you not feel that if the London Fire Brigade and building safety regulator and the health and safety executive was satisfied that a building could be used for a particular purpose, that it would be safe to do so?
Thank you, Chair. A few things. Firstly, I don't see how it could be safe. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but I've tried to read as much as I can, and there are 3 ways of putting out electric vehicle fires from what I can see. You can submerge it, and I don't think we'll be putting a massive swimming pool at the bottom of that garage. You can spray water on it, but you need to use a lot of water, and even then it doesn't put it out. Or you can leave it to burn, which is what most fire services do now. The reality is, yes, you could have diesel buses in there, but the Mayor has said by 2034 there won't be any diesel buses in the London fleet. This development, I believe, is due to be built by 2031 if the planning goes through, and I'm sure there will be delays. So either you'll have a bus garage that's only used for 3 years, or never at all. And my concern with that is the council has voted to give up to £41 million of Cllr funding so that that infrastructure can be built. As well as being really concerned about fire safety, I don't want taxpayers' money to be wasted on a bus garage that's going to lay empty, and also we still then have the concern of where does the bus garage go. I completely accept that this is an outline application and that's what you're voting on, but my issue here is the concerns we're raising are so great, the development won't look anything like what you're voting through, and actually I think it goes further than that. And this development in the current stage and the current proposals will never be able to be delivered, and it will look so different. So you're basically signing a blank cheque that we have no idea how it will look. That's why I'm asking for it to be deferred, so you can go back to the developers, they can come back with a real plan that is safety approved, and it will actually look like something that's going to be the final result.
Are there any other questions for Councillor Wakeley? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.